Well, here we are.
Yep. Creed.
Creed. Gotta be honest, when I first heard about this movie, I didn't care for the concept.
I didn't want it to happen.
This is probably going to seem kind of negative in this review, but just being honest, like we came off of Rocky Balboa, we thought that there was no reason to continue Rocky's story. And this is Creed's story, but yet we still have to hang on to Rocky in a way. We see him progress, so it's like...
Yeah, and...
Creed is still in the universe, but it's not a Rocky...
Yeah, they call
movie.
it a spin-off. And I guess that's what it is,
Yeah.
because Rocky is not the focus of the movie, although he's in it, and essentially, to me, is the best parts of the movie.
Do you think this movie could have worked without him?
No, I do not.
There you go.
It would have just, it definitely would not have worked without him. The thing is about this movie, it is a good movie.
It is a good movie, yes.
And I'll be honest, as far as
well done.
I don't really have any complaints about this movie. Where like we just talked about Rocky Balboa, and I love that film, but there's a couple things I don't like about it. There's really nothing I can complain about. This is a very well done movie, but I don't like what they did to Rocky in this movie.
I agree.
You know, in all of the movies, in all the Rocky movies, they give Rocky... He's an underdog in every movie. In Rocky 2, he's got a bad eye. He loses his money because he's got spending problems and he can't hold a job down. You know, in Rocky 3, he loses the title. In Rocky 4, Apollo Creed dies. In Rocky 5, he loses his money again. They always give him something to lose, and then he kind of gets it
Turns
back.
himself around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this movie,
it's like kicking a dead horse.
They took all the things I loved about Rocky Balboa and ruined them.
Paulie's dead. Rocky's son is no longer around. Even though they consolidated,
Yeah.
they made up in Rocky Balboa. And he's no longer around. So
And then
Rocky's basically by himself.
And then they give him cancer.
Give him cancer, and
really, movie
that nobody wants to see their favorite character go through that stuff. But he's already been through enough. Like, leave the man alone.
No. Did they really have to do all of that to him? Like, why couldn't he not have cancer? Why couldn't he Paulie be alive and still have a good relationship with his son? What would have made different about the movie? The movie isn't even supposed to be about him. It's supposed to be about Adonis, so why give all of that crap?
It's like the cancer was the main thing, but the little side things that helped it along was his son not being there and then Paulie dead. It was like little kicks, like I said, like they were taking little jabs.
Yeah, and I get it, like actually, I know why they did it. They did it because they wanted Rocky to have no one around him
but Adonis.
But Adonis. That's why they did it, to move along Adonis' story. Which was fine.
Yes.
But
I thought Michael B. Jordan did a good job as Creed.
Did.
He looks just like a younger Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he looks. I like the whole, focusing on Apollo's story kind of a little bit, with Rocky kind of in the background. But Rocky had a front seat in this movie almost.
Yeah.
It seemed like he did.
More
of a front seat than I thought he would. I thought he was just going to be in it maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and the movie was filmed really well.
Oh, it was great.
I feel like you felt like Philadelphia. I mean, you really kind of felt like the urbanness of it.
The cinematography, the fights were amazing.
Right.
Like, I love the fights.
And even the love story was good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that it copies off the first movie. Like, do you think that? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
like,
but really, it's like how love stories have to be.
No, but I mean,
way,
like
right?
It's different in a sense that Adonis didn't come from. He wasn't like a bum like Rocky. Like Rocky grew up on the streets. Adonis went from home to home, but he's still, when what's her name took him in, Apollo's wife took him in. He was basically, he had money and he had a job, and Rocky didn't. So that's not the same.
You're right, and exactly, like, he's not an underdog, really.
No, he's not.
Because he was rich and...
He's still trying to prove himself to get out of Creed's shadow in this
Right.
movie, but it's not the same as the first Rocky film. I don't understand that.
That's why he's hard to root for a lot. Because...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You felt for Rocky in the first movie because, he's an underdog. You know, you felt like Creed was kind of overpowering him, like, emotionally and physically. So you were kind of rooting for him.
Right.
In this movie, I didn't feel that at all. I mean, the end fight was rooting for Creed, for sure, Adonis, but I didn't feel that way in the beginning of this film or anything. Like, I felt like he was, I don't know, he was a kid that just wanted to be a fighter just because.
What a baby.
I guess you could. A lot of people do call him, like, whiny. What was you when I was in group homes, huh? Huh, little Duke? Huh, little Duke?
When did Duke have a kid? He never brought that
That's
up.
the guy from Remember the Titans.
Yeah. So Rocky, and here's another thing too, like, I didn't feel, there was a couple times I got maybe a little teary-eyed in this movie, but, like, nothing like Rocky Balboa for me personally.
He had some great speeches after the cancer thing.
But, like,
But
didn't you feel like the message of Rocky Balboa was a little tarnished as far as, like, remember he's all like, the last thing ages in your heart, and, like,
well, I guess that
age is
aged.
nothing, and it's like, in this movie it's like, oh,
I guess
no,
it aged.
I'm too old now.
The part where he walks up the steps at the end where he's getting carried and he's out of breath, I fucking wanted to walk out of the theater. Like, honestly, like, don't do that. Stop it. I told you, it started with Rocky 5, getting brittle, and now here he is.
Yeah.
I know he's old, and I know he went through a lot, but still.
The funny thing is why does Rocky have to be like that? Stallone he's 72 years old and the man is in awesome shape. It's like, so it's proof that someone in real life can still be physically in good shape. Like, why did Rocky have to be like, oh, is it what, because of all the years of damage he took? But come on.
Well, he did
It seems like now you see the trailer for Creed 2 and he's doing better than he did in this movie, so right there is proof that it's stupid.
I mean, we don't even know if he still kind of has cancer or not in this movie, but he doesn't look... Remember how bad he looked? Like, his hair, and, like, he looked all, like, like yellow, and, like, what's the... this is...
You don't have cancer no more.
No more, little dude. I didn't like that part. But it was Ryan Coogler directed, he did Fruitvale Station.
Right.
Which is a great movie. But yeah, the direction in this was... I like the direction of Creed trying to get out of his dad's shadow, and it's about Creed, of course. What's her name?
Tessa Thompson?
She did good. I liked Claire Huxtable.
Marianne.
I thought she was good as Apollo's wife.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's so weird. The acting was good. The cinematography
it's
was
a good movie, but there are things that don't help it to be a good film.
It's like
that should have went the other direction. Like, give Rocky something to root for at least.
Yeah, and here's another thing. This is what people say that are supporters of the Creed series. They're like, they're like, what's the problem? Why can't we keep seeing Rocky's story keep going? Like, well, why? It's not. Why don't people want to see it? Well, it's like
because then Rocky Balboa would be for nothing.
Do I want to see it? Oh, they're like it's realistic that this is what would happen. Why don't you want to see it? Well, I'm like, guess what? Do I want to see a movie where Rocky's in his 90s in a nursing home just because that's realistic? Do I want to see him, like, die because that's realistic? No, I don't. Like,
why do we have to see him die like that?
I just wish they would have left it alone. And
like I said, it tarnishes Rocky Balboa the way it ended. It does.
Yeah.
It does tarnish it because you go from Rocky Balboa and then watch this. It's like...
I'll tell you honestly, like, I mean, I treat this as a spin-off. I really do. I don't consider it part of the Rocky saga. But I know it is.
It's weird.
It's part of
in
it,
that
but it's a
way.
spin-off. So
yeah,
I mean,
it's weird to kind of categorize it.
I acknowledge that it happened, and again, it's like it's a good movie. It
Yes.
is a good movie.
It's a well done film, but there are
being a Rocky fan and just how personal it is to me. Like I have a problem with how they treated him.
yeah.
So
Well, hopefully in Creed 2 they'll redeem that, because I know Rocky, you know, his son's supposed to be in it. Bridget Nielsen's supposed to be in it. You know, you got the Drago stuff. Maybe Rocky will have something to shoot for in this movie.
yeah, and we're gonna be there on opening night.
Of course, yeah.
because we're fans.
We don't care about Thanksgiving. We just, you know,
I
I
don't.
I'll eat some turkey the day before. Screw it.
Fuck those pilgrims. They killed all the Indians. Bastards.
No, little dude. Well,
Yeah.
what would you rate Creed? Like, I think that's hard. Like, I don't know.
I mean, all right.
People are rating them like 10 and 9s.
I mean, as a film,
it'd be like
get-
a 9.5 for me.
yeah, I mean, it really would. Again, I don't really have any.
I just don't know how to
problem
rank this
with
as a
the
Rocky
movie.
film, though.
I just don't count it.
Well, that's where it's kind of divided. So I don't know.
It's funny coming from me. I'm sure a lot of people are like, you know, I did a Creed review when it first came out, and I think people, you shouldn't have to be
I'll link
sheep.
that. I'll link that review in the description. They can watch your review.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to be a sheep. Like, guess what? I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan. But not all his movies are great. You know? Like, Stop
true.
Where My Mind Will Shoot is a terrible movie. I'm not going to just be like, it's a good movie because. So, I like all the Rocky movies. This movie,
There are actually some people out there who don't like it. I've seen YouTube videos.
I'd like
of
to
people
watch
don't
a
like
review
it.
of that. I'm going to have to look up something like that.
I actually know a couple people who didn't like it, and they compare it to the first Rocky, and I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, it's nothing like the first Rocky at all.
Let me ask you this. Let's say in this movie, let's say they never gave Rocky cancer. Let's say he was kind of like peppy like he was in Rocky Balboa.
Okay.
And let's say his son wasn't in the movie, but they weren't like estranged.
Okay.
Okay. We're
Yeah.
good? Or
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So let's say like his son wasn't in the movie, but let's say he's like, oh yeah, my son, he lives a couple blocks away or whatever, and like even Polly, let's say they weren't in the movie, but they weren't dead and in Canada, and he didn't have cancer, so he was in the movie. Like, would it have changed anything for you?
Yes.
Okay, I totally agree. Like,
Because if they were going to do, let's say they weren't in the film, but they were still alive, it would have left room maybe for a sequel to happen. Maybe they could implement them maybe one at a time.
yeah, and that's why.
Now it's impossible. I mean, except for Rocky's son.
Right,
But
but
I mean-
it's like, okay, so what? They're gonna reconcile? Well, they did that already.
I think killing Paulie was a cheap shot. Like, that was cheap.
Yeah,
That's
but
what they did to Adrian, but it's like it's
it fit the story.
it fit the story of
for that
Adrian.
movie.
But Paulie, it's like
No.
they even made fun of him after he was dead. Like, oh, Paulie looking at his dirty magazines. It's like, come on, man. Paulie was a great character.
Yeah, there's I feel like they felt like, oh, we got to give some. Here's a little interesting tidbit. Here's something they were going to do to Rocky, and they left it out of the movie. His restaurant was going under,
Oh, I remember.
and they
that.
filmed
Yeah.
some scenes where like you could look at the bills and he's not making money, stuff like that. But they took that out of the movie because I'm assuming they thought it was too much, which it would have been. Like, really, you're gonna
On
do
top
that
of
to him
everything
now?
else, yeah.
They better not do that in the next movie.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. I'm not going into that movie with high expectations. I'm just gonna,
Yeah,
kind of let it play out a little bit.
I mean,
I can't say that I'm not excited though when I see Drago.
yeah, and
When I see Dolph Lundgren.
doesn't Creed 2 seem more like a Rocky movie than this movie?
It does.
So why do you think that is? Oh, it's because people want to see Rocky. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care for much for Adonis Creed.
And Drago fits the story too because Drago killed Creed. So Creed is in there.
Right.
So, I don't know, maybe it'll be a much better film. I don't know.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, I'm going in with total just like, let's just go see this movie.
Hopefully, after Dan and I see it, if we have enough time, we can maybe do a review when we see it. But Anyway, that's kind of our short review of Creed. Really, really well done. There are just some things that we just don't agree with as far as being a Rocky movie or part of the Rocky series, so to say. It's just hard to say, is it or isn't it? It's in the same universe, but is it? You know, it's not a Rocky movie. It's a spinoff. It's just, it fucks with your head.
I'm glad that I knew we saw eye to eye on a lot of stuff in this movie, but I feel like we're pretty equal on almost everything on this one.
There was a time where I first saw this, I thought it was better than Rocky Balboa, but I've changed my mind. I actually changed my mind a while back. I definitely don't. I think Rocky Balboa is more of a Rocky film, more emotional. I felt like I was closer to the character in that movie.
Yeah.
But
no question.
Anyway, guys, yeah, that's a review of Creed. So, you know, like I said, we didn't hate it or anything like that.
I bet we're gonna get comments like, "You guys are dumb."
Well, just being truthful, so I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you're dumb then. That's what I would type. Dummy.
I don't know who you are, but what am I? I'll put Dan's original review in the description, so go check out his review. It's pretty thorough. It's interesting. I like hearing his thoughts.
That sucks.
List your thoughts down below, and if you say anything negative, you're dead. Alright, guys. Dan and Rob here signing off.
Oh, real quick.
Okay.
I'd love to hear from people, if you're out there, people that started with this series without seeing Rocky, and then saw Rocky, if you think this
Oh,
is
yeah.
better than Rocky.
Good point. Yeah, list that down below. Definitely. Alright, guys. Well, stay tuned for our Creed 2 review when we see it. So, alright.
Okay, bye. Ta.
Ready, Ricky Conlon!